So here's 30-31 toss. Again, I talked about it being a 4-3. So if it was on this side, we would just arc it, which is outside release, and he outside releases. But for us on toss, we take away the switch. So we block the corner. The tackle and the slot are going to handle the overhang to the safety. So if you have trouble with the tackle kind of reading this out, you could just call swap toss, and they're going to crack this, and the tackle is going to go right now to the safety. So they would basically, the receiver would crack the outside linebacker, the slot would kick the corner, and then this guy's going to go find the safety. It's better with a single high versus a two shell. But you still read it, right? It's a 4-3 fixer. So I have some toss film. Let's see if I can find it right here. It's base toss. Here it is. Okay. So this is 31 toss for trips right. 31 toss. So we're getting motion again. I don't really like the steps of this guy. This is from this year. The problem with this is that our sophomore guard goes the wrong way, so he runs into each other. But our tackle outside releases, and the reason I'm showing you this is we should get, because he's a 1, and there were double 1s, so because he's in a 1, we should outside release this guy. He should have made an arc call. That's an auto thing that he's going to do. And then he's going to, or a Noah call, and then he's going to outside release here. We have a single high safety, okay? So we're going to we're going to block this child right here, and then we're going to back block everything on the backside. For us, I know we need to get a hat on the safety on this particular side, but what it works out for is that we get this guy 10, he's 12 to 13 yards off the ball. He's making a tackle on the pitch at 10. So we tell the slot, if we have a single high, you got to beat the safety. So we outside release. What it does, when we talked about this, is it gives, and it's really good to see on this angle. I'm going to take all the annotations off of this so it doesn't interrupt here. So what it does is it allows, this guy's been told read that tackle. So he outside releases, he's running with them. You guys can see why we would make an arc call in this particular situation is we want him on him, we want him on him, and the safety is over here. So really the safety is not relevant in terms of the count. If we ran it to this side, we'd have problems. We'd have to outside release. There is no linebacker, so his first linebacker is back here. He'd arc outside to this child, but we have an extra hat on that side. So again, the quarterback doesn't really clear the A gap, but again, it's initial movement. So we are reading that that one technique. So he squeezes, pull it. 7 hopped out, and again, if 67 goes here to where 33's at, we have a pretty good football play. But the quarterback goes, all right, he's outside. I'm going to pull it. 51 doesn't get his hands on enough. But again, you can see carpets and curtains, right? So that outside linebacker, he's folding inside, and 7's trying to take the perimeter. So for us, we did this a lot with zone dive. We had a tag that made it look like toss, and we ended up torching these guys with that play. Here's another one, 31 toss. This is against kind of a, it's a 50. They were a 50, and they went to a 4-2. We should have ran this one to the right. We run it to the left, veer clear, pitch, makes it tough for that guy to see on the edge. So he's that left tackle's going, well, I don't know who to pick, and that slot's going, well, that's my guy. He's supposed to have the widest. So what should happen here is on this play, he should go inside. He has the leverage outside, and now we have an alley underneath these guys to run it to. Good. He comes to pitches, gets the ball out. We've got an alley. And the guy who's unblocked right by the slot, they just double team that guy. The guy who's unblocked makes the tackle. What I think is great is watching that corner. He's like, oh, the fullback has it. Oh, crap. No, he doesn't. We'll see this from the back line. So again, we got a 3, we got a 6, good numbers. Veer to the linebacker, 44. I like how, it's not great because he misses his guy in terms of the child he's supposed to block, but the left guard veers and 44 is kind of outside of him. So he goes to the backside linebacker. I'd rather see him stay on his track and get 44 because we really have 2 guys in a bad spot. 30 toss, first game this year from this last year, 1-2, pivot out. Again, 9 hasn't learned his lesson. He stayed inside the mesh, so he needs to hop back more. But 59 is a sophomore going outside, and the slot does a really good job of reading it. He goes, okay, I'll go get the safety. Makes for a really short edge, though. So it is a 4-3. So we're going to clear this guy. We're going to back block to the backside linebacker. We're going to base block this guy. He's going outside to number 2. Slot's going to twirl, and then he's actually going to see him come up inside, I think, on number 18. Pitches it. Tough to see the play. We ended up scoring on this one. See the back line here. It's better to see it. I believe 7 gets on number 18, which he does. He turns the corner up. Anybody else have problems with high school filmers? We have them all the time. If anybody has an answer, I'd love one. But ends up in the end zone. Touchdown. Here's an example of toss smack. So we try to clean it up for the same game. Later in the game, we try to clean it up. It ends up not working out so well. So the slot blocks the wrong guy. He's got to go to the corner. You remember that kid, number 5? We showed him earlier. He's a backup kicker. But 13 should be going to the overhang. He should be going here, here, there. Doesn't come out so clean. One more, and then we'll go to a couple other tags. I got about 10, 15 minutes. All right, they're fixing everything, figuring it out. We get hats on the perimeter. 59 just gets his butt kicked in the first play. The receiver's going to the right guy this time. 59 gets rerouted. Stays on the wrong guy. But how it should work out, let's see it from the back line. So how this should look. Toss smack. He's going to go outside to the safety. We should crack this guy right here. Crack this guy right here. Again, sophomore, first game. I probably asked too much from him in the first game. Do that. Quarterback makes the right reads. Ends up being a 6-yard gain, and it wasn't blocked well at all. All right, let's go to, let me see here. Actual toss. Keep moving through this, guys. Boss is exactly the same thing. We're just going to read the stacks. Good against the 50, so we'll base, backside linebacker. We'll read these 2 guys here. Get a hat on the edge, block it on the perimeter. Flow, I talked about this. I'm actually going to make this, I'm going to show you guys a really good example from the national championship game, the D2 national championship game. I felt like when I called this, teams would go from a 2 shell to a single high, and then it would just totally negate the flow because there wasn't a safety to run with them. But we did it a couple of times. I do have some film. But what will happen is I do this against a 50 because it's just our base defense is a 5-2. So we base, outside release to the backside linebacker. Read these 2 guys here. The safety is going to take himself out by going to motion. So this guy still toss around. Quarterback pull pitches off to the races. So let's make this bigger. If you guys don't know anything about it, this guy, Flexbone 101, his name's Coach Carrick, his Twitter handle and everything, he breaks down triple option games. Only had to do Air Force this year because Army and Navy went communist. So here it is. He's going to go, let's see if I can make this a little bit better video quality. There we go. That's a little bit better. They're going mid-triple. Back to the left. So this would be 31 flow. And they ran this play a lot. You can see safety, this guy right here, is near keen this slot. So and this is how the game, if you watch the first play of the game, which was zone dive for 60 yards, you'll see this guy run with they run zone dive. I think they run it to the left. So that safety runs with them and he runs over the top. But now this guy's eyeballing this guy right here. So I'm pretty sure that maybe it's this safety. It's this guy right here. He's eyeballing him. So he ends up running the banana route. He makes a tackle, but it's for a 7-8 yard gain, I think. Motion, he's running. This guy's, they're near keen. But he cuts him off. He's got to come all the way across the field. They never changed it. I mean, you watch the next play, you're going to see, it's tough to see from the angles. But again, they will send a guy over. They run inside veer to the right, and this guy's running there. I mean, they didn't change it, right? I mean, it's very rare that you see teams kind of adjust a lot when they play a team like a triple option team. So I have some flow, but it's like I said, I felt like I called it, and then they would go to a single high. With that, let me see if I can find it here. Flow tag. It's 4-3. We only got 3 yards on this one. So motion block. My receiver blocks the wrong child because the corner makes the tackle. First game. Again, if my receiver blocks and you can see the safety, right? You see the shadow right over here. Okay. So they're in a 6-2, basically. Like, again, they were in a 4-3 shell. They got into a 6-2. So you watch the safety, he's coming down because he thinks the play's coming that way. And the linebackers are all flowing to that side. So everybody's running like the ball's going to the left on the defense, but really we're going back to the left on offense. I said, felt like every time I called it, I would get a different defense than what we saw.